who had quickly vacated the premises out into the middle of the rainy forest. You guys chase after, took on the undead, and survived. Most everyone survived. Except there was like one casualty and a couple of scrapes and bruises. Maybe some hurt pride and friendly fire. I know what you're talking about. After which you guys had then got back to the ship with your eventually your new allies joined you. You had discovered the ship had also been slightly overrun with these undead, and in the process Aelin had managed to hold them off, keeping Grandma Illy and Sparrow and Grackle, or Falcon and Hawk, or whatever their names are, from perishing a horrible death. Now, currently, as everyone is starting to bed down for the night, Galil and Finn have gone over to Aelin's room to kind of make sure that he was all right. I believe Kindred was having a late night chat with Vinren and her entourage before heading to bed. Soul, what were you up to?
Contemplating life.
I mean, you just had a near-death experience, so that's to be expected.
Yeah, appreciating life.
Yeah, appreciating the fact that you are still alive currently.
Hoping that, so this is the same night, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be hanging out in my spot on that pillar thing. I don't think Soul wants to be inside his room. It's a little bit. I mean, it's not that small, but
it's small enough to. Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, in that case, then, so you're off to bed, contemplating life as you stare up at the ceiling or what have you. Sonder, what are you up to?
Saunder's going to be in his room, praying to Bahamut for a successful victory.
Oh yes.
Against dark creatures.
Yeah. Aelin, what are you up to? Oh, you were experimenting or bone grabbing?
Oh yes. Last we left off, I was talking to Soul outside, and I realized then after all that cool fun stuff, I was gonna go find Kindred, but before I actually get to his room, I'm gonna see if I can find Iskra just real quick.
Sure.
So I'm gonna, as I'm walking from the top deck, I know where her room is, so I'm just gonna kind of like go to it and kind of like peek my head and knock, maybe see if she's in there or not.
Are you in your room?
I am actually in the same location Kindred is right now.
Talking to Vinren.
So I look left, look right, I don't see her. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Kindred's room. I don't think he's in there either.
No.
Knock, and there's no sound coming from his room. Oh, I don't open the door. No.
Okay.
I listen for a second. Okay.
You kind of hear voices coming from the galley.
Okay. I'll just head that way.
Okay. And you open the galley door. You see Iskra, Kindred, Vinren, Talran, Raya, and Kililinda. They all seem to be kind of the elves are all, I would say, stewing over a glass of some sort of drink or something. Not necessarily literally stewing, but they just seem to be like pensively drinking while listening to Kindred's questions. And Vinren seems to be the only one answering. The others are kind of sitting around them, but in silence. Some of them staring out into the darkness of the outside of the ship.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go up to Kindred. I know he's talking. I'm just gonna like just nudge him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, when you're done, can you find me up in either my room or your room? I just have just a few questions after today of things and stuff. And
Vinren takes a glass and like.
Late. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but just have a seat. We'll be done shortly.
Sure.
Yeah, Vinren raises a glass to you, Aliquin. Well fought. You have some potent magic there with you.
Thank you. I rarely use it, but I'm really glad we all kind of got out of there alive.
Your skill says otherwise, but for what it's worth, I'm glad that you are as proficient with it as you seem to be. Kindred, as you were saying, what was it? I'm sorry.
I was just curious. What tribe did you say you were from, and what are y'all doing way out in the middle of nowhere out here?
We're our tribe, the Mirth Spear tribe. We're not quite nomads, but we were charged with making rounds along some of the older ruins of some of the now forgotten cities. Some of them are safe, but occasionally we have those who would intrude upon them and try and take what is not theirs. So we do our best to keep out interlopers as well as keep whatever might come out of those ruins in, I should say.
Are you a rather large tribe?
Large enough. We don't have too many dealings with those outside the forest, and those within the forest. There are a few other tribes that know of our existence, and they do their best to keep us supplied, and we do our best to make sure that they don't perish in the night.
Well, my asking is, well, as I'm sure you're aware, forces are moving and things have been put into place, into action. Could we maybe consider you allies in this great war to come?
It's possible.
Of course, your duties first are what you're charged with, but
we do have that. If we are able to help in some way, we will consider it.
Because I kind of like look around like to the others, like, well, in the morning we plan on heading forward to Silverymoo to see what we can do what we can in case anything happens. Would you be okay with me telling survivors and refugees to head this way to seek you out?
She looks to the others around her. Perhaps not to us specifically. There are a few other settlements, elven settlements, that are within reach and that would generally offer safe harbor to any of those seeking refuge from oppressors.
Should I tell them to tell the tribes that they're sent by us specifically?
I would say at the moment any of the tribes within the High Forest are not particularly allies of anyone within the Empire. As long as they know, as long as they can be trusted. And as I'm sure you are aware, elves are rather keen on telling who can be trusted or not.
Mm-hmm.
We will do our best. Or
well,
they
once
shall
they
do
get
our
to you,
best.
that is your decision with what you do with them, whether or not they break your laws or not. But it would be nice to know that they could at least run somewhere to escape the Thayan grasp.
I can imagine.
But it is getting late, so I don't want to keep y'all up too long. But we have some extra bunks down below. Feel free to take a rest, do whatever, and help yourselves to anything in the kitchen and the galley. But Aliquin, you want to head back?
Yes, please.
I appreciate your hospitality, Kindred. And the rest of you as well.
Anytime. And so we'll start heading back to my room. Yeah. Well, what is it you were wanting?
So, do you remember whenever we were talking about that gem that you pulled out? The abjuration spell, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did I actually grab that from you?
No, I actually have it. Almost finished it, but then shit happened. So I'm actually was gonna finish it up. If you want to stick around.
Sure. Yeah. Because I kind of wanted to test that out. Maybe it's like a test run, see how it works, like that type of spell, because I've never actually done that before. And did we leave Iskra back there?
I'm assuming, table? Unless Iskra. Okay.
Okay. All right then. Well, well, okay. I guess I'll just follow you to I'll just follow you to your room, and whenever you're ready, then just.
Okay, and as soon we made our way downstairs and whatnot, we're at my door.
Okay.
Open it.
No, yeah.
After you.
All right.
Iskra, was there things that you were wanting to talk to the elves about, or were you just kind of curious about them?
Yeah, I have a couple questions I'd ask them.
Sure.
I look at Fenrin. How have you encountered the Empire before anyway? These woods are really thick. Why have they caused you trouble?
Curious, you should ask. Once upon a time, there were members of our tribe that, you could say, had dealings with those outside the forest. Nothing as ominous as perhaps that sounds, but we, or I should say they had a passing interest in artifacts or things that we might find while we did our job, and we would trade those things to this particular family. Mind you, this was at least 100 years ago, and they brought in a sizable amount of coin for the things that we found, whether it be from creatures slain or random trinkets found near the ruins, things of that nature. But then one day, our normal contexts were replaced by other individuals. And their intentions weren't quite as good as the previous family. They came within the family's name, said that there had been some great accident that had befallen the original family, and they were executors of their estate. Now, however, it's set our something didn't sit right, so our elders pursued these people away out from the high forest. And they turned out not to be who they said they were. In fact, they were creatures unlike most anything we'd ever seen. They were shapeshifters. The kind that you... Well, there was a reason that we had assumed that they had nefarious interests, and our scouts proved that to be true. We had sent one particularly brave scout to follow them as far as they would go, all the way far to the west to a city, believe you call it Luskan. And we found that the family indeed had all perished. It was a sad state of affairs, but upon further inquiry we found that they were indeed working for a larger organization, and that was something that we were not to be part of. That organization wound up being in league with the Empire. So the one tie that we had, or our tribe had, with the outside world turned out to be false. Whether the family ever existed, or whether this was more the machinations of these shapeshifters, we probably will never know. But needless to say, it set a foul taste in our mouths.
Understandably.
Aside from that, the destruction that we have seen at the hands of this empire, not only with cities such as Silverymoo, but others, settlements and places, even some of the ruins that we have gone to patrol have a tainted touch after the empire has visited it. So we try to avoid it wherever possible. They know better than to go into the deep woods, and we know better than to leave them.
Those ruins, are they from your people's past?
Somewhat. The one in particular that creature came from, it was a city of multiple races, but had its beginnings in elven traditions. But then, as it seems with most, if you beg me my pardon saying so, most human things tend to go awry. And with their meddling, there were aspects of that city that never were the same again. And so it was left to the humans to deal with, and eventually even they too disappeared. Now all that is left is ruins and the taint of evil. Damn it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. What about your tattoos? What do they mean?
She looks
if
over.
I can ask.
She looks over at the others. Looking at hers, you see the she has the branching green, right, of these tattoos that almost appear against her copper skin. It almost looks like oh my gosh, what is it called when copper starts to turn green?
Oxidize?
As it kind of oxidizes. It almost looks, and with the tone of her skin, it almost looks like it does that, but in these branching patterns with like almost like vines and leaves that kind of roll across parts of her face and really ornate scroll work. You see, as you kind of look over at Talrun, his helmet now on the table next to him, his head shaved. You can see that there are these starbursts of silver that kind of just go across his head, just in different sizes and shapes and patterns, almost looking like snowflakes, but more on the sharper like bursts of light of these silver patterns. You look over at Raya, and her tattoos also are of silver, but they seem to be more of crescent shapes and moons. Some of them interlinking to make matching symbols that kind of make almost like a chain that kind of goes up along one side of her head. While Kalilinda has also it's more of the inky black tattoos, but they seem to represent more of wind and air currents. Venerin kind of following your eyes as you kind of look to each of them. The tattoos are given to us once we come of age, kind of representing either an interest or something about our person that can be represented in these tattoos. They're a sort of tribal mark that's unique to the Mirth Spear tribe. Well, not all elves tend to decorate themselves as such, especially the high elves. They're a little more stuck up, if you know what I mean.
I think your tattoos are very beautiful.
I appreciate it. You strike me as one that's not from around these parts.
You could say that, yes. I'm getting used to this place for sure. There's a lot I yet to learn, but it's really fascinating.
That's fine. There was something about you that told me that you possibly were slightly different than the rest of them. And for what it's worth, I am glad that you are here as well. Without you, I doubt we would have been as fortunate as we were during our hunt.
My team can handle themselves, and I think yours can too. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, I pray that this ride is one that you enjoy for however long that you are here.
Thank you. With that, I think I need to get out of these clothes and get some sleep, looking at my muddy, drenched self.
That's understandable. Please, have a good rest. If you need anything, we will either be here or down below meditating.
I appreciate it, Benrin. Thanks for answering my questions.
Of course, Iskra.
I leave the room, go to my room.
All right. So, you two, Kindred and Aloquin. Oh yeah, I forget that you guys can't see which ones I'm pointing to, but you two. Go for it. What?
So then once we get in my room, shut the door, and go over to my little desk, pull out, you had a ruby, right?
Yes.
So go through my bag of holding, pull it out, and see, I've been working on it, but not quite there yet. And then same thing, pull out my emerald, but in the essence of expediency, because mine was completed, and I have I can't do it. I had what I wanted. Anyway, I'll ritual cast it second level. You want to watch?
Sure, yeah.
So I take out my book, I start scrolling through it, find the page where it's at, set it down on my bed, set up everything, and start ritual casting Earthen Ward, second level.
All right.
I kind of like grab my little book and I'm like looking at those little motions he does and all the little runes that pop up. I'm like, I don't know that symbol. I don't know that symbol. Okay. So I'm just watching.
Okay. So then,
yeah.
So then you have Earthen Ward cast into the ruby.
Emerald.
Emerald. Just kidding.
I have emerald. He has ruby.
Got it. All right. So your little spellcrafting works, takes hold.
I don't feel any heavier, surprisingly.
Well, I mean, I don't think. I guess like how the book explains to me, you really don't feel any different. But if something were to actually hit you, it's halved or quartered or whatever damage is given to you. It's kind of by chance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know. I read it. After all, I copied it from you.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you see how it works, you're welcome to sit here while I finish on your ruby, and then if you want to go home or to your room and cast it. But start working on his. I know we had started it, but I don't know how much time would be left to finish it.
Are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably another hour at least.
Another hour?
Okay, so that I didn't get started on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I kind of like, do you know when the ship got struck by lightning? Because we had that crazy idea to, charge the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I pull it out. I kind of like lay it on the table. I don't know. Like whenever I look at it with my detect magic, it looks like how it looked before I got here. So I don't know if that's just residual magnetism, electricity that's still stuck in there, or if we charged it. I'm actually really afraid to try it, but
I agree. You shouldn't try it. Not saying you shouldn't ever try it. It's just hearing what you were telling me as I'm still working on the Lord, hearing what you were telling me and what Iskra was telling me, you don't quite have control on how to use it.
well,
And
I mean,
not having control on a teleportation device is immediately grounds for just mayhem. I mean,
know.
what if you end up in a volcano or in the far realm, heaven forbid that, or just right in front of a dragon?
My dad Bolin was teaching me before I left. We were getting everything pretty much down pat. Just me getting here, like I specified something that apparently I should have said in my head home, like to where I was physically staying, not home to where I was born. But I know now, so I don't think I'm going to make that same mistake.
Well, seeing the task ahead, would it be too much to trouble you to wait till we get back to Atet before we try it?
Sure, yeah.
And once we get back, I promise I'll give you my full attention to help as much as I can.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal. I kind of take it up off the table and put it
All
on
right,
me.
just don't
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Just left him hanging. Just left him hanging.
It's a COVID bump here.
Oh no!
COVID bump. There you go. Okay. Well, if we need it, then it might be here for us.
I can agree to that.
Just depending on if things do get crazy, you and I at least know about it, so there's a chance that we could all link up and go.
Speaking of linking up, as hopefully I'm nearing the completion of his ruby.
Yeah.
You have so many nice utility rituals. Why don't you use them more often?
Well, I was planning on starting it. That's why I grabbed the bones. I'm grabbing the ruby. Actually, as soon as I get back to my room, I was planning on putting things together, like as the oh shit bag, you know. But
Everybody needs one of those.
Well, I have mouths up with the bodies to make sure nothing happens to them.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Before I go to bed, I'll just go grab whatever I need. But yeah, I need to be more prepared, I guess, because I don't know. Never really had to back then.
I will say, rituals are a double-edged sword. They are nice to have, and they don't take up the taxing efforts to track all your magic, but sometimes you can't always use them. But I mean, I've already used some that I've copied from you quite a few times, and they're very useful. It's just, you should appreciate your magic more, I guess. Not that you don't, and that might not be the right words, but
I guess the more that I use it, the closer of the realization I get to I can't get away from it. So the less that you're relying on something, the less you need it in the future. That's just my opinion.
Let's see. But in a situation of life or death, why not use it to help save a life?
And I know.
I'm guessing I'm finishing up his gem.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really beautiful.
And just don't tell people where you got it, because I have that bag as an oh shit moment myself. But
okay.
Here you go. As I toss it to you.
Grab it. Well, thank you. I also probably need to go shower too, or go bathe too. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down to the lavatorio and then head straight to bed.
Okay. Well, as I'm actually leaving to go to my room, I'm gonna knock on Iskra's door one more time.
I crack the door open a little because I'm presently not wearing clothes because I was planning on taking them off.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Hi. I kind of like turn around and I'm talking like to you, but you're behind me. Hey. Maybe one day you could talk to me about your parents.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Because I mean, if things go bad, I'm taking you back. And then I just, without even hearing her answer, I'm just gonna walk straight to my room. And then shut the door and go to sleep.
I close my door again slowly and just kind of ponder for a while. Wow.
Okay. All right. So, Kindred, as you guys are settling in, you can hear that the rain has kind of started coming down on the roof once again. A light rain. Doesn't seem like it's quite the storm that had been the night before or hours earlier, I guess, at this point. Kindred, you go down, you get yourself a spick and span, saving for the rest of you. Anybody visiting the lavatorio, you can choose your new car smell. Wait, no, what is it? I put
fresh Keo.
Fresh Keo.
Cool finish.
The minty cool finish. The magic washes over you, and you just feel like you just freshly brushed your teeth and your whole body with toothpaste.
And then with that, I'll head back to my room, cast alarm on my door silently, me only, and then head to bed.
Okay. Alrighty. Let me see here. Alright, so Sonder, you said you were just chilling and gonna pray before bed, right? And then going to sleep. You're muted, by the way, sir. Oh.
Yeah. And anyone who wanted to wash off, I can assist with that. But then I was going to go ahead at the end of the night, meditate and pray, and then go to sleep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now you have the bathroom with the prestidigitation wand that will clean you off. So
nice.
You no longer have to worry about using your abilities to wash people.
Okay.
I mean, unless you really, really want to, and I have a feeling Galil was really looking forward to that hot bath. So, I mean, that's always a possibility.
I'm already in bed.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean right now. I just meant in general. Okay. So, all right.
And then one last thing. The next day, I know that we'd be arriving around Silverymoo.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that way I know how to prepare what spells.
Yes.
I retrieve my my owl.
Right. Yeah, you have that.
In my room, I make everything for my ritual spells for tomorrow. Like little put things together and stuff in vials and put it in a little satchel behind me, and then I go to bed.
Alrighty.
I destroy water on my clothes and then take the now dry dirt and like flake it off. Go to sleep.
Wow, well done. That was interesting. Yep.
That's smart.
So yeah, you just like, you know, what is that when you like snap the shirt and stuff? You just like snapping the dirt off. No big deal. You got 2 gnome boys to clean up. You know, sweep the decks or whatever later. All right. So, that being said, you guys get a long rest.
God, yay! Finally,
as you guys can sleep with ease, ish. knowing that, evil has for the moment been vanquished outside, at least in the close vicinity, and you don't have to worry. You can kind of sleep with ease. Galil, you wake up with a bit of a headache from your sleep. As soundly as you had slept, there was still aspects of it that, for whatever reason, did not lend to a full, easy sleep. Like, you still get all the benefits of the long rest or whatever, but it's just
slept like crap.
Yeah, you just slept. Yeah, it's kind of like your neck's you felt like you were kind of at a twisted angle, and your head throbs as if like you had too much wine, which not really ever been a thing for you. But your just head has this you have this pulsing there at the edges of your temples, where you're just like, oh God, what time is it?
I feel like I have a hangover.
Yeah, kind of, something along those lines.
Fuck. I'm gonna check on Aelin since I slept in his room.
Yeah. Aelin seems to have slept well enough. He's still asleep when you wake up.
I'm gonna let the little boy sleep with Finn next to him.
Yeah, Finn's head perks up as you kind of awaken and kind of start getting up, and just kind of watches you curiously, his large eyes just kind of following your moves.
Stay.
It looks over at you and then looks over at Aelin, and then just puts its head down on its paws and closes its eyes again.
I'm gonna exit the room and go find everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, the sunlight you can see the sunlight is starting to lighten the portholes outside. Sonder, when you wake up, nice and relaxed, and you do that big cat stretch, and
you would definitely do that.
Yeah. You kind of yawn and lazily look over at the ceiling and kind of scratching your chest, and you look up at the wood above, and you see when light reflects off of a pool of water, and it kind of causes that weird
the ripple,
the ripply,
in the beginning of the Twitch.
Yes, yeah, in the beginning of the stream, kind of similar to that. So you see that on the roof above you, and it kind of it's a nice little reminder of water being present. It's kind of odd that it would be so perfectly reflecting the light from the porthole up onto the ceiling, but yet there it is. And as you're scratching and you're looking at it, you see that these golden swirls start to form into almost serpentine looking forms that kind of start swirling and following each other. Whereas at first it seemed natural and random, then they started kind of melding together to become these little swirling shapes of light that kind of start dancing around the top of the roof.
Sunder gets to attention and smiles as he looks up. Are you with me?
You ask this out loud?
Mm-hmm.
You ask out loud and you don't get an immediate response. The swirling kind of disappears from the circle that they had created to kind of go back to the watery patterns. I love that I get to do this in front of my face, legitimately. But does the watery patterns. And then one of the swirls kind of moves off from the rest, off on its own, goes along the ceiling and kind of goes down along the wall. And your eyes kind of follow it as if you're just kind of this is happening. It kind of just follows along the wall and then disappears right at the at the floor in the meeting of the wall, and kind of right between two pieces of wood planking next to each other. It just kind of goes inside. Just
like a cat, I'm gonna follow it.
Well, you go up to the planking. I mean, it's the wall of It's the wall that leads to the next room. But it just goes straight down the wall and like disappears into the floor. Like it goes through into the floor.
I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna get up and like try to go down to the the floor under me.
Okay. You go down and like you're in your mind laying out the layout of the ship. You kind of run down to the stairs, like go down to the second floor, start staring at the ceiling, like trying to figure out where it could have come down, like counting your paces as you go along the sides. You can see along the sides of the ship where you go, there's a couple of the portholes along the wall, and then in that center section of the ship is where those smaller little cabins are, right? You're kind of like following this and looking, but you see no light. You're just you don't see any other like reflection of light, and you look out one of the portholes and you can see that there are little puddles that are still outside, but none are reflecting light up, at least not from this level.
I see. I'm just gonna stay down there for a bit, and
as you look
and start my morning prayer.
There on the bottom deck. So you kind of frustrated with the weird things that's kind of playing in your head. You take a seat on the floor and kind of get into your little crisscross applesauce position and go into your prayer. You hear some footsteps coming up to you. Kind of really softly, not like loud footsteps, but you can feel the presence of someone close by.
You need me, Grandma, really?
No. And you look up at the voice, and you see Talrun, the elven man. He has his helmet like into the crook of his arm, and he's kind of looking at you. What are you doing?
I am and trying to like come up with an excuse as to what just happened. I like to come down here to pray. I need to start my morning prayer. So my God showed me the way to where I need to go for that prayer.
He looks around. He showed you the way to the bottom of the ship?
I know it sounds weird, but if you've ever encountered...
Is this a ship god that you worship?
No, it is the Great Bahamut. I am a monk of the Platinum Order. If I don't imagine you've heard of them, but we worship Bahamut.
Huh.
I swear I just saw a golden speck run down from my... it's unbelievable, but I believe it, and I follow him. He gives me strength, and I was curious as to what that speck might have been.
He looks up at the ceiling and around. I don't mean no disrespect, but I don't see any golden specks now. Are you sure you saw... Did you hit your head or something, maybe? And he comes over to you and kneels down, and like now he's just kind of looking at you curiously. You seem okay. Stands back up. Well, good luck with your prayers in the middle of the hallway at the bottom of a ship.
It is a special time for me right now. Do you pray yourself?
There are times when I find myself in need of prayer.
Do you ever find yourself in a time of prayer in a place you would not expect?
You make a fair point.
Well, I'm gonna go upstairs and get food. If you want to join.
I've already eaten. We are preparing to leave.
Okay.
But he kind of turns. He turns to walk away, and then looks back at you. And as he looks back at you, the light from that's coming in from the portholes catches the silver of his tattoos on his forehead, and it kind of just for a moment it kind of does that little shimmer as he turns his head. Make a perception check for me.
I'm gonna ask, what is your name, by the way?
Talrun.
Ooh, it's a 27.
You may call me Talrun. You notice as he is like, it was good to fight with you last night. You fight well for a monk of this order. And he turns around, and on that second time around of seeing the light flash, you notice that there are 7 starbursts of silver on the sides of his head.
What? That's awesome.
So he starts making his way up, back up to the top deck.
Okay.
All right. So, the rest of you, as you all awaken and start coming to consciousness in your various forms of wherever you are at the moment, you guys gather together for breaking of the fast.
My first things I do before I even leave my room is non-detection.
Okay.
And I'll ritual cast Kindred's armor. Or Kindred's guard.
Kindred's guard.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I will go into Malzahar's senses and just see how things were for the night.
Ask
him. Yeah, and ask him how it was.
I was like, who is Malzahar? I totally forgot. Yes. As you kind of go over to the pile of bones, the snake slowly slithers itself out from that pile.
I just kind of hold out my sleeve and just kind of under his chin, give a little scratch, and then he's around my arm up into my cloak again.
Quiet is the sense that you get from him. So nothing crazy had happened to the bones while you slept. It seems there was a quiet evening for bone watching.
If only Boracor was here.
Those bones wouldn't be quiet for long.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'll head down to meet the group for whatever they're doing.
Brunch.
Yay, guys, we're totally doing brunch. Yes. All right. So you guys gather together in the galley as you get your little snacks and such.
Before I actually come down from my room, I was gonna try to cast Earthen Ward. I was gonna hold this ruby up. I was gonna toss it between my hands and then just see if it works.
See if it works. As you,
for the first time.
Yeah, as you close your hands on the ward, it's on the stone, and kind of press and think about the spells, incantations. You can feel a warmth glowing in your hand, and as you're holding it together, you hear a little cracking sound, and for a second you think you maybe have crushed it too hard. And as you do that, and you hear that cracking sound, and you look down, and you can see your skin starting from your hands going up your arm looks like dried earth. Has that caked solid pieces with little like lines and geometric patterns that kind of go all the way up your arm. You can just see as it like completely starts covering. It looks like your arm is being dipped in dried dirt, and then as it gets to a certain point, it kind of just fades downwards into your skin to where your skin is normal once again.
It's cool.
Wow. Kind of like brush off the dried dust. Like off me.
There's a little bit of dust. It's not a lot. Yeah. It's just a little bit.
Myself put together and I'm gonna walk downstairs also.
Okie doke. So you guys are gathered together. You see, as you guys are gathered, Aliquin, you would be being the last person to join. Vinren is there, but just Vinren. After some consideration, and she's like in the process of talking. So after some consideration, we've decided that we will head back on our own on foot. We appreciate the offer to bring us there, but it is part of our hunt, and if we were to arrive even close to our home from the inside of an airship, it would not look good considering the current circumstances. And you have a hobgoblin with you. I'm afraid they are usually shot on sight within our village, so it is probably
no offense taken
for the best. Schnods, I appreciate that.
But don't leave quite yet. As I start fidgeting, pull out my journal and start writing something in Elvish.
While he's doing that, Sol had checked the weather earlier before going down into the ship, and wanted to offer that information to them.
Sure. Currently, the weather seems clear. There are still clouds in the sky, as hard as they are to kind of see from this far down. There's still, you can tell there's daylight. There's still sun that kind of manages to make its way from the very top of the canopy, but it is sparse, but from what you can tell, it's going to be not a rainy day. So it's going to be partly cloudy with a little bit of a breeze coming in from the southwest at approximately, 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit.
If our date just needs a light jacket.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, what were you pulling out, Kindred?
So I write her a note, and it's in fancy Elvish, and it just simply says, "If for any reason you lose your home, seek out this city of Atet, but tell no one you don't trust."
Okay. She takes the paper, kind of looks it over,
and I kind of like sign it and then put the Brigade of 8 symbol on it. That way, in case I'm not there, it looks legit.
Alrighty. Well done. She bows to everyone. Once again, it was a pleasure fighting at your side, and I wish you all the best in the rest of your journey, wherever that might take you.
Likewise.
Safe travels.
We will do as best as we can, despite whatever circumstances we might find ourselves in. And she bows. Goodbye. Closes the door.
GK, thanks, bye.
I want to go out too and call out Tolden's name.
All right. As do you follow her kind of upstairs?
Yeah.
You can see them gathering at the edges of the ship. They seem to be in like a little hushed conversation before they, Kililinda like leaps over the edge, followed by Onaraya. Whenever you get up to the top, You can see them like start to jump over the side.
I'm gonna call out Tolzrin.
He turns. He still has his helmet. He has his helmet on his head. This like really intricately designed silver, like shiny elven styled helmet.
And then I'll go up to him. What is I had a question about your tattoos.
Kind of like absentmindedly brings a hand up to kind of like.
If you don't mind, what do they stand for?
Once when I was young, I was lost outside my village. And before anything terrible could have befallen me, one of the scouts found me. It was in the dead of the night. But it was strange. There were 7 stars that kind of pointed the way. At least so he says. Which is not perhaps so unusual, except that it is hard to see stars when you're on the forest floor.
But they shone brightly.
So he says.
So he says.
Yes, the scout who found me.
Oh.
So in it was decided that would be my marking.
We were talking earlier about Bahamut.
Yes, the platinum dragon.
Right. It is known that he is nearby or watching you, looking over you. If you see 7 gold icons, stars, birds, coins, that symbol is his. And so I want to give you his blessing. He may protect you and your tribe going forward, if that's okay.
He kind of looks over at Viren for a second, and Viren just kind of like shrugs and leaps over the side of the boat, like whatever. What is this blessing?
Simply to give acknowledgement to what happened that day. Perhaps he can continue to guide you in times of trouble if you seek him out.
I will keep an eye out for a platinum dragon.
Okay.
Or 7 small gold birds.
It's many different things. I've had a gecko before.
He kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. You are a very special one, Sander. Don't change that. And he turns over to the edge of the boat and like does this like little like weird salute thing. He just like he doesn't know how to say goodbye. He's just like, see ya. He kind of leaps over the edge. And as he like you go up to the edge of the boat, you can see them moving off into the out of the clearing and into the woods. And he's already pulled his cloak hoods up. They all have their cloak hoods up, and it's one of those weird things that, you know how they always make the jokes about when people wear camouflage, they turn invisible and you can't see them anymore. It's one of those things where as they're like walking away and you see them like fix their hoods, they almost start blending in to where they're hard to notice as they're walking into the underbrush of the forest around you guys.
Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna do a quick prayer over him and his tribe.
Okay.
In regards to Bahamut, and then I'll go back inside.
So I'm gonna finish my breakfast while he's doing that, and then go seek out Grackle and Sparrow.
Okay. They are probably they would be after eating breakfast themselves. Usually down below, near the engineering section of the ship. So, kind of over there by the cargo hold.
So going down there, I kind of like look over, see them, and like knock on the wall to like announce my presence.
Okay. You hear them shuffling around, and eventually you hear they kind of come out from one of the closet. One of them comes out from one of the closet. What are you doing? I'm hiding. You're ruining the game.
Well, there's a timeout right now because I need to talk to y'all.
Crap. So he starts looking around. I'm supposed to find Greco, but I don't know where he went.
How big is the room?
Well, the engineering section is is open to like the hallways. So he was hiding in one little side closet that's close by. So he could be anywhere in the lower deck of the ship or anywhere else in the ship. So you start looking around. You can kind of look around, use if you want to make an investigation check.
Well, let's see. Investigation. That's cocked. 15 plus 9. 23.
23. You notice that the doorway into the cargo hold is slightly ajar.
So I just tap. Who is it? Greco that came out?
Say mackerel. God damn it. Sparrow. Sparrow's the one that came out. Grackle's the one who's hiding.
I'll like with my eyes and then Mage Hand kind of point exactly where he's at, and I'll just be like.
Okay, so you point over in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me see if I have. Okay. So as he his eyes get all big and he's like, okay. And he's like starts tippy toeing over to the door and looks inside, and it's you just see the darkness of the cargo hold beyond. He turns back to you. I don't see him.
Mage Hand opens the door all the way.
The door opens all the way, and light kind of sheds in. You can see parts of the room where it kind of has that little wedge of light that kind of shines inside, and you can see a couple of the crates and things that are back there. It's I don't want to go in there. He might try and scare me.
Not if you scare him first. And come on, load. Yeah, I'll go over and touch him and turn him invisible.
Okay. Perfect. So you go over and you touch him. He disappears. You just hear this gasp of breath, I'm gone. Okay. You just hear the little voice. You hear the little as the steps go inside. And
what are the consequences of this?
Luckily, they weren't named Cain and Abel. That's all I'm saying.
Concern.
So you wait for a moment, and then you hear suddenly, "Ah!" and Greco comes running out of the room. There's a ghost! And runs past you.
Can I try to catch him?
Something invisible just tried to touch me.
Are you sure you saw something invisible? And I'll break concentration on it, and he's normal again.
And right in the hallway, a very proud-looking sparrow with hands on his hips. Gotcha. You can see the moment of terror that was in Grackle's face now changes to seething anger, and then just
But while I have both y'all, I need to ask you something.
What?
Do you still have that wand I gave you?
Maybe.
Well, I'm just letting you know. You can hold on to it, but it's to be used in emergency situations only. Because if you don't use it then, there's a spell on it that it burns your hand off.
You can see both their eyes just get really wide. Make a deception check.
Amazing. Yes.
Not bad. 16?
4.
Yes.
So,
Children.
yeah, children. Just like they see both their eyes go wide. Right. Emergency situations only. Yes.
Promise me.
Promise. And they both hold up pinkies. Teeny
Can
tiny
I, like,
little pinkies.
Pinky hand one and mage hand pinky the other.
Ugh, that's weird. The spectral hand just like, wah, grabs your finger. Yes, well, it's fine. They're both like nod in excitement and then go like run off down the hall. You can hear
This is
Grackle
fine.
going,
Everything's
I'm
fine.
gonna get you back, don't you wait.
So then with that, I'll head back up to see where everyone's at and see what everyone's up to.
Okay.
Soul is actually looking for you, Kindred.
I'll head my way back up each level because I was at the bottom level at the moment.
Yeah.
So where are you looking first for me at?
Well, he's not really looking that hard. He's just kind of hanging out outside and then looking inside periodically just to see if you're nearby.
Yeah, so you eventually find each other in the hallway, I would say.
Kindred, what did you call it? Poultice worked really well, and I really appreciate it. It helped me stay alive for a little while longer. Do you have another one? May I have another one? Because I might need that again.
I might. Let me see.
If not, I can help you gather more materials. I am knowledgeable of the...
I appreciate the offer, but this is something you can't. It's one of a kind.
His eyes kind of narrow down, looking at you suspiciously.
You want to know the secret ingredient?
Maybe not. Maybe better not to know.
I'm gonna tell you anyway. It's not that secretive.
Okay.
It's some plants I found in the Feywild.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say a dead body, but okay. Yeah, that's not so bad then. But I could see why that would be difficult to get.
So
In that case, then save that from what you have and what I used. That seems like a real treasure, and probably best not to waste through.
It's not wasting it. I made them for us, and I do have one extra as I hand it over to you.
Well, thank you. He kind of grabs it and just like, wow, thank you. I will take good care of it, and I would use it only in dire needs, and I appreciate you, my dear friend.
It does only last for a week before it starts to go bad, so
thingies that I can talk into.
Mhm.
And everybody, can you make sure your despised murmurs are in? And I just kind of like put it down.
Oh, right. I
I
hear
agree.
that wherever I'm standing, probably or towards the kitchen someplace, helping clean up.
I kind of like make sure mine's there too. I kind of like push it further in there.
Put some tape over it.
Thank you.
Thank you for flying. So as that gets started in the air elemental, you can hear the power shifting and coursing through the main sections of the ship as the beam lights up, and you can feel the ship beneath you start to lift away. The sounds of the power kind of like dully starting their rhythmic thumping sounds as you could feel the ship lurch slightly and then struggle to lift off as if it had been kind of stuck down in the mud a little bit, and then whoosh, kind of like with a sudden jerk starts lifting up into the air, as now the ship is going up higher. You can see out the various portholes wherever you're at, the trees kind of starting to fall away slowly, a bit at a time. The ship's kind of not really moving forward as much as it is kind of just doing like an elevator straight up. Occasionally you can see, depending on where you're positioned, the poles that are on each side of the ship that have now strung outwards on the side kind of will grasp at the edges of the clearing, and you can see some kind of hit branches along the way up, but the ship keeps rising. Before long, you are out and above the trees. It takes feels a lot shorter of a time than it did when you initially fell, but now you are flying up into the air, and for a moment the ship kind of stays stationary as it seems like they're trying to gather your bearings and which direction is which before the ship starts heading off in a direction. What are you guys? You guys have so sorry.
Yeah.
so sorry. I kind of exploded. All right. You guys have approximately. Let me see the amount of time you have. It's not going to be a full day trip. You will get there before sundown because you are relatively close. Is there anything in the meantime you guys are wanting to do on the trip? You have. Let me see here. Depending on your point of choice, you probably have to like mid-afternoon before you arrive at a destination. You are given two you have a couple options. You can go the full day's travel and end up north of Silverymoo, in a forest known as the Moonwood that is north of the city. You also have the Nether Mountains that are to the east, and you can stow the ship somewhere there. Illy suggests the easiest and quickest way that doesn't involve All right, so you guys left probably about 10 or so in the morning. So you have until maybe like 3 or 4 in the afternoon if you guys want to do anything.
Was Aylin's spies murmur still down in the core when I went to grab mine?
Yes, because he has not been conscious enough to.
I pick up his too then, and then I
Okay.
would head to his room to try to find him.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay up front, over where Grandma
Illy
Illy
is.
is, and try to map out what we've covered so far.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you something then, Sonder.
Okie dokie. All right. So, what are you gonna do, Eskra? Is there anything you wanted to do in the meantime?
Just bringing the spies murmur to
Bringing
Aylin,
spies murmur.
and-
I was like, I remember you just said something, and then it like clicked out because I did something over here. Sorry. All right. So taking it to Aylin. You did hear that he had grabbed stuff and then took it back to his room. So you knock on the door to his room, and the door opens, and you can see Aylin sitting there on his bed, just kind of knees up to his chest as he's just kind of picking at a plate of food on his bed.
I got something that both of us gave up for a minute.
Oh yeah.
I opened my hand with both of our spies murmurs in them. I kind of smirk.
He reaches out and grabs it or takes it from you. Thanks.
You bet. How are you holding up?
I'm not bad, I suppose. It was a little strange, fighting off those things by yourself, and having others. I mean, I've tried to do stuff to protect others before, but this was a little different, I suppose.
I'm sorry none of us were here.
It wasn't your fault. I stayed behind so that I could keep something like that from happening, so I'm glad that I was there. It was just... I don't really think I've been in a fight in a while. It
I
kind
have
of
to
brought some
say-
flashbacks.
It took a team of all those elves and us to take down just about as many things as you fought.
Huh. Well, I suppose you could say I had some help. Remember the voice that I told you about? The one that I hear on occasion?
Yeah, your gut, right? Your intuition?
Yeah, well, turns out it's probably a little more than just my gut. I'm going to sound like a crazy person.
With everything we've seen, I don't think I'll think you're crazy.
That's fair. There came a point when I was fighting off some of those things that I don't quite know what happened. It was a lot of light, and I felt like I was not quite myself, like I was not quite controlling what I was doing. And I remember seeing, looking back at the gnomes, and I couldn't tell if they were scared of me or there was a look on their faces. And all I remember was turning back around and seeing those creatures stop in the hallway. And I figured whatever it was that I was doing, it's for the best, and I just kind of let them have it. Next thing I knew, it was we were in the cargo hold, and there was all of them dead around me. I wish I could say that I remember everything that I did, but I'm afraid this was one of those out-of-body experiences where you just kind of fall asleep after a while and wake up somewhere else. Only this time there were dead things around me.
I can see why that would be a little unsettling.
But then I heard that voice again, and now it's like an actual voice. But that's neither here nor there, and I know that whatever's about to happen once we get home, I might hope that this is going to happen again, but I don't know if those that are going to be dead around me this time are going to be the right ones, and that's what scares me.
You know, I don't have experience with that sort of thing, but I focus on controlling the elements, right? But it's nature. Nature is wild. It doesn't want to be controlled. You have to encourage it to do what you want, really. So when I meditate, I come right up against the nature of the thing that I want to influence, right? And I try to listen to it and then suggest back. Basically, maybe it's the same sort of thing. Maybe you can have a conversation with this voice of yours.
Maybe. It's just all a bit odd. And still kind of new.
It's again not exactly the same, but maybe you might want to talk to Aliquin about this. He has innate powers.
That's fair. I might give it a go. Thank you, Iskra.
Yeah, of course.
I try not to get you killed.
Yeah, likewise. We'll try to be a little bit quicker back to the ship next time.
It's fine. Like you said, apparently I could handle it. I just didn't know that I could. And I don't foresee it being too similar of a situation when we get into the Silverymoo. It's been a while since I've seen the city, so I'm kind of nervous, and I hope that I can control whatever it is that's doing that.
For sure. Well, it'll be good to have you there with us, having someone who knows the lay of the land.
I will try to do the best that I can. Like I said, it's been over 8 months since I've been there, at least. I'm sure it's changed a bit since I was there last.
Inevitably. Are you, just about done with your food? I could take those plates from you if you don't want to leave your room.
No, it's fine. I should probably get some fresh air anyway. I appreciate it. And he gets up from the bed and grabs his plate, and it's like everything has like 3 or 4 bites in it. Nothing has been fully eaten, so it's just like little bits of pieces that is left. And he just grabs it and nods at you, and then kind of like walks past you out into the hallway back towards the galley.
I head up to the upper deck. I'm gonna go to like the lounge area.
Okay.
And sit in there and play a little bit of music to meditate.
Okay. Cool. Sounds like a plan. All right. Anything else that you guys wanted to accomplish during your travel time?
I'm actually in the lounge area, drinking, but trying to.
Oh no!
I was actually on my way to go find Galil.
It's a party in the lounge.
I'd say after talking with Soul and chatting, heading up to try to find everyone. I'm sure I would have come across Galil all hung over in the galley.
Probably. Probably.
And just
With
look
water
at him.
and everything.
I kind of like walk up. Hey.
What's wrong with you?
Slept like crap.
Oh.
You slept like crap, or you're afflicted with something? Medicine
No,
check?
I'm good.
Does he look sunburned after I burned him with my fireball?
Sure, you can do a medicine check, and Alcuin, you could do a perception check because you kind of look him over.
Yeah, I mean, because sunburn makes you really tired. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, that was a 1.
A 1. What'd you say, Kindred?
17.
17. He doesn't look like there's anything physically wrong with him, as much as you can tell from looking him over and kind of put your hand up to his forehead. He feels fine.
What are your symptoms?
I just feel like crap. Like I have the biggest headache of my life.
Well,
Open the door while he
Everyone's
saying
there.
that, and I turn around because I feel like music is probably not the best thing if he is.
Screw, yeah, you're here.
Just what the doctor ordered.
But you fought really good yesterday, Galil. It's been kind of a while since I've actually seen you do anything. But I didn't know that you could make light. That's new.
I don't like to do it every fight. Just when I need it.
Do you think maybe that's why you feel bad now? I don't know. You kind of look exhausted afterwards.
Every other time I've done it, never felt like this.
Is your the drinks you're making too strong? Possibly.
Water.
I don't know. I mean, the last drink I had from you was really strong. I don't know.
as you see me lug my bag onto the table, fidgeting around in it.
You gonna pull out a thermometer?
This one's rectal, this one's armpit, this one's
No,
mouth.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pull out some leaves. And then I start fucking messing and fidgeting with them, and
Stick it up his bum.
so I was going to craft a
You're a bottom now.
potion from my my Wits Breaths, DC 17, and I rolled a dirty 20.
Nice. Okay.
So you see me like crunch up and like make this weird looking paste, and I'm sure it doesn't really smell that good. And I just hold it in front of you and like, just don't ask questions, just eat it.
Oh God.
Healing salsa.
Yeah. Healing salsa.
Yes.
It's heal. This is
And
more
he's
like
gonna get
this.
his headache out of the way.
This is my healing pico. Pico de gallo.
Did you use the
I'm
mocha
better.
to
I know, but it cures a hangover and removes 1 level of exhaustion.
Nice.
he like chews up bleh, and his tongue's like covered in like the green paste of like chopped up, crunched up leaves.
It's like I'm chewing on horseradishes.
Ugh.
Well, no one said herbalism is sweet.
That's true. No one has ever said that. Probably. All right.
Is Finn nearby?
No, Finn was down with Aelin.
Yeah, I left him with Aelin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They needed rest.
I know. Alrighty then. I kind of want to say thank you to Finn for protecting the ship and the kids. And I guess that was a good call on you for leaving Finn here.
Someone had to.
Because that could
We're all
turn
going.
really bad. All right. Iskra, how about that song? Do you know Dovahkiin?
Nice.
I think it starts like
Nor the red.
Yeah. No.
You know, actually, if that was the song that was playing in your dad's house when we showed up, I think I can remember it.
Huh. Yeah.
Leo, you won't be too disturbed by...
I'll be fine now. You ate it all right.
All right, then.
Like I don't like watch and sit.
All right, I try to play something.
I'm just gonna lay down on the bench.
It's 17.
Sing it,
My
sing it.
performance.
All
Sing
right.
it.
In that like draconic language that the Bethesda came up with.
Do I hear this? Do I hear this? Do I hear her singing in Draconic?
I actually
From
It's
where
like
I'm
screamo coming from the galley.
It's like German industrial hard metal rock starts playing through the through the small gramophone pipes.
It's like when someone doesn't know. It's exactly what it is. Is when someone doesn't know a language and is just kind of singing in gibberish that sounds sort of like the words.
Yep. Sounds about right. Where are you, Sonder? In your room? Or
I'm with Illy in the
in
captain's quarters.
In the captain's quarters. Make a perception check. Let's see if you can pick it up from the distance of the of the doodad.
I mean, it's a 17, so it's not bad. It's
Ooh,
just
I got a 26 on perception.
Yeah, you can hear the kind of like you ever hear conversation or music coming through like the air vents, the AC air vents or whatever from another part of the house. It's kind of like that, but a little louder. I mean, you can
I'm gonna
definitely
stop what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. Then I'm gonna walk over to the
the pipes.
Or the pipes, and just kind of listen to what song it is. And if I know it, I'm gonna sing along to it as well in the pipes, full volume.
Try to play Aliquid's request.
Okay, so what was your performance check?
It was a 17.
17. Yeah, that
It's
wasn't bad.
Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin,
Yeah, something
yeah,
Dovahkiin,
exactly.
Da la la la.
With it, yeah, something, yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple song. You know, pretty standard. Everybody knows that song in this
And then
world.
there's a lot of hey ha ha.
Yes. Amazing.
So I was gonna try to find everyone because there's like no one around.
Yeah, you find everybody kind of gathered around as Galil has his arms like this over his head.
So I was gonna walk up and go, "Hi, I got lonely, so I wanted to find you. What's that smell?"
I look at Galil.
No, I think it's what Kindred had made.
Oh,
Yeah.
his drink. Okay.
I just kind of just wait to see what he says.
Are you still not feeling okay?
Nasty
That's
ass
another poultice.
plants.
Oh, the poultices are good.
This one's different. This one, actually, if you do come across, you can help me make. Do you know Wisp breaths?
With breath. Make a nature check. Soul.
Let's see. Nature. 18.
10, 18. I don't know why I said 10. 18.
18.
Yeah, you've heard of it before. You know of it.
Oh yeah, I've come across that herb.
Well, I just depleted my stores of them, so if you find any in our travels, I'd appreciate it. I know what to do with them.
Okay, yeah, I will definitely look out for that if it is helpful, like your herbalism has been. Galil, what is wrong with him?
He's hungover, but give the poultice some time and it should take effect.
I switched to play something much calmer and quieter.
After the rounding, whoo, wah, whoo, wah, coming through the pipes in like weird 8-bit, like 16-bit sound.
I liked that song. Iskra, where did you learn that?
It was playing once back home, actually.
In the land of Bethesda.
The land of Bethesda.
I'm done with you.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Well.
Land of Bethesda.
Right. Okay, so over the next couple hours, you guys kind of relax and mingle, talk, kind of sit for a while, listen to music, study, etc.
Within the group there, I'll pull out and just review the draconic divination notes again, see if I can pull anything else from them.
Okay. All right, so you guys go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, 24.
24. You kind of as you're pouring over the notes. There are some that, the ones for the spell work in particular, or just the random, more of the random scribing.
The spell work.
Spell work in particular.
Because I have the basis for them, I just don't have the actual spells worked out yet.
Right. Okay. So then, yeah, you could put another hour's work of like getting more of that sorted. So you can notch off another hour's work, or however long you want to spend on it, because you have at least probably like 4 or 5 hours before landing.
I'll just kind of sit in with the group and just review
them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll say that over this time, those of you who had taken out the Spies Murmur, you reattune to the Spies Murmur so that that's all settled. And before long, you get the notification through the Pope. God damn.
The Pope.
It is done, my child.
All right.
I love when I get a notification from the Pope. Actually,
Bing! Hello.
usually when the Pope has a notification, that's not so great for me. But I mean, did you see the environmental encyclical? No.
Is it like in the Umbrella Academy?
No.
So, we have reached our destination. We're going to be landing soon. Make sure that you, hold on to something just in case. It seems that this area is a bit windy near these mountains. So try and stay indoors if you can avoid being out on the deck. We'll be landing shortly. Over and out. Finally, you feel the ship kind of lurch suddenly as the descent starts, like some jerky elevator that just kind of falls out from beneath you and then slowly starts to glide down. So you guys
turn my attention to the windows.
Yeah, as you all look out the windows, you can see that this area is it's like Rocky Mountains-esque. Filled with pine forests that kind of go up to the sides of these mountains. You can see some of the Nether East Mountains in the distance ahead of you that are snow-capped, and you can see that the further regions beyond that seem to have even more snow. The direct mountains around you are definitely filled with there's a word for pine forests, but I cannot think of it besides pine forests.
Coniferous?
Yeah, I guess more coniferous style. They're carnivorous style forests, and the trees grow at different heights, not nearly as high or as tall as the trees that were in the high forest. But as you guys do settle down into a small little valley between some of these hills so that you can't be seen unless they, come up the side of the hill. Someone comes up to the hill or whatever, but you are nicely tucked away as the ship eventually comes to a nice and smooth landing And you can feel the ship like settle into the ground. The air immediately, as you open the door from the inside, has that sharp, brisk mountain air that's cold, almost cold and refreshing. And you are now arrived in the Netherese Mountains, approximately 10 miles east of the city of Silverymoo, far enough away to have not been seen probably by any scouts there within the city, and yet not too far distant to not be able to travel there.
Now that we landed, Soul, let's go of Aliquin.
Has he been holding on to him the entire time? He's like,
he just kind of like pulled him over and plopped down on the ground. I do not like this part.
I'm just bending his shoulder and like we're both looking outside the porthole. It's okay.
It's okay.
At least we're inside this time.
That is true.
That's fair. All right. So as the ship settles in for a landing and we prepare for the next phase of this journey, we'll go ahead and take a quick little 10-minute break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So don't go too far, and we will see you soon.
and helping others as best you can. So I want to get as many of the refugees out as possible, but I'm not going to endanger the ship to do so. There are 3 ships that patrol this area, and I don't want to fuck with them. Lana, I hate to say this, but I think I'm not going to be able to reach her at the moment. Our main focus should be the refugees and getting people out of here. There's still some open markets in this northern area that they haven't shut down completely. So best case scenario, we can maybe convince some crafters and tradesmen to join us in a tent and help build our little city. As far as what we're up against, I'm sure we all know. The Red Wizards are going to be more concentrated in the southern part, guarding the libraries, the high-end shops, the magic trade routes and things of that. And the Dayan hobgoblins, the more just actual fighters, are going to be spread out. They're going to be in both places, but more in the northern, where we'll probably run into them. They're under the... what was it? Command of... where is it at?
There was it was a dragonborn that I remember. It was the one that kind of seemed to have led the invasion.
I know Hibby told me his name, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, there's a dragonborn who's kind of the head honcho of things right now. It'll come to me, but when I think of it, I'll tell you. But I mean, I'm not trying to play heroes. I don't want to lose any of y'all. I figure we can just try to get as many of the refugees and the surviving people of Silverymoo out of here.
What do we do when we get them out? Where would they go now?
That's why I was asking Vinren. Worst case scenario, we can tell them to head to the High Forest. I know it's a long journey from here, but at least it's somewhere they could head to, and then others we could bring with us as best we can on the airship.
I imagine, though, that if we're sending people on foot or horses or whatever they have, they'll be run down by the Thayans pretty quickly, right?
Well, I mean, the survivors have lasted this long because they're not stupid, but, you know, at least there's hope in a direction.
Would that forest know that they would be coming?
That's why I asked. Oh, you weren't there. But I talked to Venerin briefly, and she told me that, you know, if need be, we could send or tell people to head to the High Forest, that they would be welcomed as long as they obeyed their laws once they got there.
Aelin.
Any inputs, any thoughts?
I was going to look at Aelin to see how he reacted to that.
He's just kind of been staring at the floor. Just kind of in thought.
With as long as it took for us to get here, I think it would be good to do some damage before we left.
I agree.
Like, at least on the way out, it's a parting gift.
Well, I do know the barracks are located. There's 2. One in the northern part of the city. That's where they house the hobgoblins mostly. I mean, trust me, I want to blow these bastards to hell as well, but
where are they keeping the refugees?
They're all spread out as best they can be. There's no one central location. So, I mean, if we can, once we get as many people as we can to safety, I'm all for blowing some shit up and sending them a parting gift.
I want to lay out the map of Silverymoo that we've devised between me and Kindred.
Okay.
Just so everyone's able to get a better understanding of what everything looks like.
Yeah.
Lean in over the table.
Yeah. Okay. So
Am I feeling better, by the way?
your headache has not gone away.
But
Is it getting worse the closer we're cut? Never mind.
No, it's not necessarily getting any worse, but it just hasn't really gotten any better. It's a slight. It's kind of like it's gone down a little bit. It's not nearly as strong as it was when you first woke up, but it is still like it's like having like sinus pressure in your head. It's just
That's
annoying enough to be just below painful, but not high enough to be yeah, exactly. Let me see how I can do this. Well, we'll just go with descriptions for right now, and then you guys will see the map later. But so you see that there is a river that runs through this city. So imagine it's almost like an oval shape, and a river runs through like the lower section. It's not quite split in half. It kind of has a smaller section at the bottom. The upper section has the majority of the city. There's the palace of the city is there, located there. All the temples, the markets, much of the residential district, and as well as the majority of the most of the things that you would find in a city are located in the northern bank. The southern bank has what like Kindred said, it has the library. It has this was more of the mages' quarters basically. And that's all on the southern side. You can see in the parts of the map where Sonder had drawn in that a lot of where the city was, there are like almost like ink splotches that are representative of damage or what parts of the city were destroyed. Aelin goes over to the table as well, and he starts pointing out sections that this part here. Most of this was lost when they invaded. They came somewhere from the north and pushed their way through the city. So a lot of the fire damage was kept around these walls here, and they burned these docks. He kind of points over to the palace. He's like, I was located here. This was one of the last places that they had attacked. They moved as quickly as they could to the southern bank. It was apparent that they wanted to try and keep that as preserved as possible. Once they had, they came completely by surprise. None of us knew that it was happening until it was too late. And once they did take the palace, they took it from the inside. So at some way, they were able to circumvent those of us who had posted to try and block them from the streets. Before we knew it, her ladyship was dead, and the new regime claimed ownership of Silverymoo. After that, it was all of us running for our lives, trying to find places to hide in the city, as the majority of the spell guard was hunted down, as well as the Silver Watch, the Knights in Silver. They did their best to try and protect the city, but most of them were completely eradicated from the very beginning. That's all I remember, really. After that, it was kind of a lot of hiding and finding a way to get myself smuggled out to the city. I have no experience outside of those. That was 8 months ago, so anything that I remember is probably changed by now.
Was there a place you guys, I guess refugees and people that are hiding, is there a place you guys would like go to meet up, like within the city that's secretive that everyone knows about, like a church or tavern or
We kind of kept it mobile as best as we could. There was no way for us to... We couldn't have too many people meet in one place, otherwise we'd run the risk of being caught. So, as if you were in the right circles, you would know how to find the new meeting locations and such. And occasionally, they would try and do things against the Empire. You know, small hit and run things, smash and grab of supplies. But no, we didn't have enough people to make a full offensive, and it's because anything larger than a few individuals would be easily picked out in the streets. It wasn't like they had gone through and were just killing all of the people either. They came in to seize power, and once they had that, there was no need for wanton slaughter unless there was some sort of rebellion at working. That was part of the reason I left, was try and find more people for this, to try and do something about it. Once they set themselves up in the southern bank, it wasn't long until they shut down the moon bridge and made sure that their only way you could get across were through boats that they controlled. The walls on the southern side of the city are pretty well protected. In fact, as I recall, they barricaded the gates so you can't come through the southern sides. The only real entrances now are either on the eastern side or the western side. They've made a fortress of the southern bank. I'm assuming whatever it was that they're looking for or searching for, that's the main seat of their research there. But I don't know. The only other place I can think of that was completely taken over by them was the old map house. There was a library on the northern bank that they took all of the records and the books and the scrolls from there and took them to the southern bank. But it was just family genealogies and maps of the Silver Marshes and most of this side of Faerun.
I'm actually pointing to the river, like on the map. How do they guard both sides of the river? Do you know?
Most of the docks where the river sits a little below the rest of the city. And so wherever there are sections where the stairs come down to a dock, or they have that guarded. At least that's what, like I said, I don't know if they've changed it by now or not, but that's where they used to have guards posted.
The group of fighters that you were with, the rebellion, did you have any colors or identifying symbols? Something we could use to make ourselves known to the right people while keeping ourselves hidden?
There used to be... For a time, some of us would have a lookout posted at the House Invincible. It was a temple to Helm on the northern part of the city. It's where the Knights of Silver and the Silver Watch used to congregate, as it were, as like a protection for the rest of the city. It wasn't quite like a barracks, but pretty close. After the invasion, we'd have at least one person there just in regular clothing, just to keep an eye out in case anybody tried to show their faces. We all knew who we were, so it was easier to pass information, but I don't know if anybody will still be keeping an eye out there. But that's at least one spot we could look to try and get a hold of anybody, aside from wherever Kindred's friend might be hiding somewhere in the city. Like I said, from the stories I've heard in the last few months, and from what I saw while I was there, I don't know how locked down the city's going to be.
What time is it?
It's probably about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Let's say about 4 at this point.
Well, my friend and I, we know to wait until nightfall before I scry on her, and begin to communicate. So once nightfall hits, I'll touch in base with her and see the status of everything, and I'll let y'all know everything what's up. But and things have changed since I've left. And you just kind of see me like go off in a daze, like just thinking of everything, trying to every possible scenario play out in my head.
Alrighty.
Go over to him. Or, everything is going to play out the way that we need it to. We're on the right side of history, and we have the power to face them.
I hope you're right. I know that you're not here to fight a war or try to liberate the city, but I'm with Iskra on this. I kind of want to do as much damage as possible.
Imagine that the other.
I don't want to put anybody in danger either, so I'll defer to your best judgment. But know that if there's a chance to do any sort of retaliation against these bastards, trust that my blade or my spell will be the first one in there.
I trust your judgment. You don't need... I mean, you've held your own. You've proven yourself to all of us. I mean, there's no reason for us to distrust you. So going from here on out, I mean, everybody rely on their instincts as well.
Don't forget, guys, the wizards also have those monocles.
What is this?
We believe it's a magical device that lets them pretty much always have detect magic on.
So don't be using magic in there recklessly or spontaneously.
I look down at my necklace.
I glance over at Eloquent too.
My entire body is made of magic.
And our little pebbles that we use to identify ourselves.
It's true.
Give us away.
Should we put them away for this?
No, I mean, some people are going to have magic devices. Just keep that in mind. But I would like for us to keep the little stones we found. I mean, we are up against wizards, and magic can very much complicate things. So it's just one way we have to identify each other for sure.
I think I might stick out amongst the crowd there. I was going to do the change magic appearance, but maybe I should not.
Not all of them have it. This is just one thing we did notice some of the higher ups seem to possess.
Could they be dispelled?
I was going to ask the same.
They could probably be broken.
And I'm pretty sure if you dispel it, they'll retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
What if they don't know who did it? Perhaps we can take the nighttime to try and locate these and destroy them if we can.
I was actually literally thinking of, like, the most stealthy of our party go out to the city tonight or tomorrow night and see the flow of maybe guards or what.
Well,
or
when it's later on, if his headache goes away, I can send Finn out and I can see through his eyes.
I could do the same thing with Valak too. But the schedules of like when they rotate, what direction the river flows, there's a lot of things you can see if you're spying.
Write down a list of questions, everyone. And whenever I get in touch with my friend tonight, I'll be sure to at least see if she has answers to these.
I go around with a jar and
Yeah.
And if you see those collars again, Run away.
All right.
Excuse me. Good job.
The collars and the.
I don't think that was here for this.
They have these collars that they can stick on you, saps your magic, and turns you into an animal.
It's not
Almost like
able to
a
get it
force
off.
polymorph that's unlimited.
Mhm.
That's
Good to know.
problematic.
Good to know.
Especially if they send you to a slaughterhouse.
Oof.
Does it work
Oh.
on just you, or does it work on devices?
On just a person, as far as we know.
How do you take it off of someone if one of us
Magic.
gets it?
Dispelling it.
How many of us can do that?
Mm.
Them two.
Adam, check your
How far away are we from the?
You said 10 miles?
Yeah, about 10 miles. Yeah, so you still have, you know, some daylight left. You probably still have at least 3 hours of daylight before it starts to get dark.
Well, we don't know how long we're going to be here. Maybe we can find some way to better disguise the ship, or scout out our general area and make sure that we're safe. I would volunteer to do it, but I'm the last person you want walking around in wilderness.
I can do it. I can hide myself, and I will commune with the trees and the plants and the animals to see if they're aware of anything of concern.
That's really cool, Saul. I didn't know you had that.
Actually, so I could probably help you out with that too.
I
You too.
was going to ask, it might help me just, before anything, clear my mind. So do you mind if I tag along with and just try to forge with the time we have?
Okay, just know that I will make myself invisible until something happens, and then I will reveal myself. Let me check on how long that lasts, actually.
Okay.
It's not a problem. I can actually keep pace with you. And we'll just hold a rope in between us.
All right. So you
That
had.
hidden step is only for until the start of my next round.
Okay, so it's like 6 seconds.
6
Just
seconds.
like a quick boop.
Oh, not a problem then. I got us covered.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are gonna go and kind of get a bearings for the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
But
we are.
does everyone have a spy's number or a way to communicate with somebody? Please.
I tap my ear.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
see,
stare
Aelin
these,
does
bro.
the same thing.
Best thing.
Galil.
I didn't want any more voices in my head.
Well, then at least stick with someone who has one.
I can do that.
Lil, you took yours off.
He hasn't had it for days now.
Galil.
There's reasons.
Let me
Okay,
just give you like a head massage or something. I can give you deep tissue. I don't know.
All right. Well, Soul, you ready?
Wait, Sandra, you get
Yes.
massages?
I am ready.
So then once we get up to the top
Massage.
deck, I'll cast invisibility at 3rd level.
Okay.
I'm gonna go forage.
Okay. Do you, Sandra, are you actually gonna try and give him a head massage?
Yeah, I'm proficient in medicine, so I'll
Pop his
consider
hand out of the way, and I'm gonna go.
it. Oh, sadness.
There's lipstick on and everything.
Is you okay? Yeah. Got it.
So yeah, I'll cast it at 3rd level and I'll touch Soul, so both him and I become invisible for an hour.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I keep saying that. Galil, as you, in that moment, when you smack Saunders' hand, in that brief little tap that it is, you have there's like your head splits for a second, almost like a sharp pang of a migraine. And you see like this burning sensation, or feel this burning sensation at the back of your eyes. And you see a stone hallway littered with bodies. And some of them are torn, like rent apart by like large claws. Some of them are stabbed into the walls with giant spears. That vision flashes again, and you see a turbulent ocean, just writhing and seething in the with a storm that's causing the water to rise and fall violently. And then you see another vision, and this time there is some sort of training yard with men and women dressed in monk-style clothing as they are training in different forms, doing several of them martial arts style poses, movements. And you see Sonder in front of them, commanding. And then the flash ends.
Whoa.
But your head, you have the renewed surge of your brain just for that moment as it happened.
You don't look so good, friend. Are you sure you don't want a massage?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We're gonna go out now.
And as you the more steps you take outside, it starts to lessen, and the pulsing in your head kind of calms down.
What was that? What did I see?
Are you gonna go with him, Sonder?
For worrisome sake, yeah.
Okay. So then, how long are you gonna be walking around Kindred and Soul?
We have it for an hour, and if we want to scout the perimeter.
Okay.
I'm also going to conjure animals. I'm gonna conjure.
Before you do that, wait! Don't cast. I'm holding on to you after I cast it, so that way I know where you're at with invisibility. Mm-hmm. If you cast it, breaks the spell. We had a mishap with that once.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good to know. Can I do a nature roll or perception to see if I can find any critters around?
Sure, you can do a nature check.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be trying to look for any herbs or anything along the way that I
go for it.
Clear my mind.
And you're staying close to the airship, just kind of scouting the immediate forest area. Okay. Galil, go ahead and make a survival check, I guess, if you're foraging for stuff. Are you getting food? Is that what you're kind of doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Foraging and hunting, basically.
Okay. Sonder, you kind of keep not too far away. You're keeping your distance just so that your presence isn't overwhelming or intrusive, but you kind of just keep an eye on him from a distance.
16.
16? Okay.
Should I roll stealth, or
if you're trying to be sneaky?
Just to make sure I don't sneak any animals that he's trying to hunt.
I mean, Finn's with me too, so.
From a distance.
21.
All right, 21. Okay. So yeah, you're pretty quiet as you maneuver through the forest, and Galil, you do manage to acquire, with Finn's help, what did you say you rolled?
16.
16. Sonder, what did you say you rolled?
21.
21. Okay. So you didn't notice, at least not with the paying attention, that Sandra was kind of keeping pace with you, but you do manage to find some game to bring back. Kindred and Soul, over the course of the hour, as you do manage to find Soul some squirrels, but I don't know if trying to talk yeah, squeaking squeaker.
Are they trying to take over the world?
Yes, as squirrels
the talking llama went.
And we'll just say, for expediency's sake, over the course of the hour, you see that the surrounding area, you're far enough away from what seems like any sort of sign of civilization. You're pretty far out into the woods. It seems pretty peaceful. Soul, from what the squirrels and nature has kind of given you that vibe that you're in a pretty undisturbed section of the mountain range.
Excellent.
Find any herbs?
Oh, I can do another roll. Oh, I got a 13.
If you, yeah, we'll do it later. For the rolls, for that particular thing, for the herbalisms.
Okay.
All right. So, Aliquin, Iskra, what are you guys doing?
How far away from I guess the city are we?
About 10 miles.
About 10 miles. Okay. You kind of like turn to Iskra. I mean, are you ready for this?
I think so. I think I'll do well in a city. I mean, we're gonna be sneaking around. It can't be that much different than back home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Smaller scale, but.
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit nervous, but like at least looking at the map, I don't know if we can see like the patterns of people and the flow of everything. I guess it would be easy to get in, blend, find, I guess, all the people we're looking for, and then get them out. I mean, there has to be a way to do it. Like how do traders and merchants get into the city to sell things? And
that's what I'm thinking, right? We could maybe just walk right in, as long as we've got the right story.
Exactly. That, and also you have a river that's connected to a city. You have to use that river for like whatever purpose it is, not just for water, but there's transport there. So boats.
And transport is the thing, right? What makes them so powerful other than their magic? From what I've heard, it's the airships, right?
Exactly.
That's what lets them move so quickly. I wonder if maybe we could hijack a few. And
I actually know how to fly an airship after watching, God, what was his name?
Channel.
I don't know. My
YouTube videos.
Boland's person that Adam played. What was his name?
What was his name, Elliot?
I don't know. What was his name? I watched him fly the airship, and like it looked really easy. I honestly think I could do it. And if we needed, I don't know, if we needed an air elemental, I could make one. So
Great.
that wouldn't be an issue at all.
I wonder then, maybe our time right now is spent getting some piloting tips.
Sure. That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Let's go talk to Grandma then.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Kind of like make a way up there. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So you want to spend the next like couple hours talking to Grandma Ellie
Yes.
about this wild plan. Make a persuasion check for me.
First. Oh, hang on.
With advantage because we just saved her ass. Oh.
I mean,
Persuasion? Oh, okay, yeah, easy. I have a pretty high persuasion. That would be a 24.
24. Aw, Aliquin uses the puppy eyes once again. Okay.
I got an 18.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. easy enough. What at first starts off as suspicion and like, what are you up to? Eventually, she kind of gives.
Tell us about flying.
Basically, how do you fly this thing?
We're probably gonna hijack this later. On this, this lever.
In theory,
here,
if something happened to you, how would we get out of our? How would we get out of the situation?
Just being rational.
Yeah, just in case something goes wrong the next time.
Totally hypothetical.
Right. So over the next couple hours, she kind of gives you a basic rundown. It does explain that, for the most part, airships require at least 2 to 3 people to get them off the ground. You need the navigator up in the cabin, as well as the cockpit, and then you also need someone down below operating the device used to house the elemental, making sure that all the proper sigils and controls and knobs are done. So it's like a twofold thing. That's what goddamn Carp. Grekel and Sparrow do down below is they assist her with keeping the power flow regulated and making sure that the air elemental returns back to its pocket dimension within the ship. So at least per airship, you would need at least 2 people knowing what they're doing to some degree to be able to get it off the ground. She does say that some airships require more depending on the size of the airship. If they are a larger ship, they might require more coaxing. Also, with fire elementals, the fire elementals are generally used for more of the warship style because their fire not only helps keep the ship aloft, but also powers some of the weapons that are on those warships. And she's seen them, but doesn't know how exactly how those operate. But they are the bigger, and they're usually the ones that are used for patrolling the cities. But if you were able to find a smaller airship, then you could probably manage with the instructions that you were given over those couple hours.
Interesting. Okay.
So you have rudimentary knowledge of operating like more of the scout class airships that are employed in the Imperial Armada. It's the same. Basically, it's the same knowledge that Sonder has. Sonder has a little more knowledge because he spent a little more time with it, so he's a little more fine-tuned. He knows some of this too.
Okay.
So then, within the hour, Kindred Soul, you guys return back to the airship as Iskra and Alcuin are in the process of getting
playing it.
Getting instructions on what to do. Galil and Sonder, you guys return to the airship, eventually with dinner, and I guess Galil, you start to prepare that for consumption for the evening.
Yep.
We're having quail.
Barbecue. Doing some barbecue venison.
I see Saunders still following me. While I'm in the kitchen, I'm looking at him, but still scanning the animal.
I'm kind of used to it by now.
Puncture one of the organs and watch blood just ooze out.
Okay, that.
I'm gonna shape the water out of it, and to where it just becomes like an irony, like dust, pile of dust.
Sure.
If I can do that, take the water out of the iron or out of the blood.
Make a Arcana check for me.
Oh, okay.
Because this is an extremely not. Yeah, I was like, this is not a normal thing that you do.
I got a 17.
17.
Yeah.
You can see as like the oozing of the blood kind of starts to ripple and move a little in a weird like gravity kind of pooling kind of way, but it still splashes down into the little chum bucket. That it's like you get the sense that it kind of was reacting to it, but it wasn't quite strong enough to do.
Ooh. Okay. I want to work on that, but I'm gonna take my mushrooms and roots that I've found.
Okay.
And start to prepare that. As well.
Got it. So
I'm gonna peel the root in like a mocking way, the way that he did it to the animal.
It's like angrily peels potatoes into the thing before you realize you get your finger in it. Just kidding. That's not. Just playing. But anyway, you guys prepare. Yeah. Okay. You each angrily stare at each other, preparing food. Just chopping things.
I'm assuming me and Soul walk back, and we just see this weird, like, angry making dinner, and I'm just
display,
I have rations I could eat for tonight, guys. Like,
You'll eat this and you'll love it.
And then y'all hear Soul on the spice murmur. How does this work, Kindred? Is it on?
Yeah, you just like touch it and then think you wanted to tell me something, but say it in your head.
Oh, okay. And I think everyone's like hearing this already.
Yeah. And because you're thinking, you want everyone, your hope that not everyone hears this, everyone is hearing Soul's.
It's like the grandparents on Skype, like, hello?
Hello! Hello, kids, on?
What?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
You also don't have to touch it in order to speak. You can just do it telepathically.
Yeah, but we just use this symbol so that we know that we are talking telepathically.
Spice murmur.
Yeah.
No, the Soul's doing that. He's going like this, and then kind of like going like this with his mouth too, like as if
to kind of cradle it so it reaches there.
You guys hear?
Okay. I want to let everyone know, if you can hear this, that coast is clear. Area seems like okay. I think we can rest easy tonight.
As I'm sitting there looking at you, I message back. You don't have to cradle it. You can just think and talk, and it goes through.
And I just wanted you to know that I appreciate everything that you've done, and I love you.
Oh.
Thanks, Sonder.
So, Sonder, you're probably gonna hear this, but he's not saying it out loud, but he's thinking like, "Oh, that was really sweet. I need to give Sonder a big hug after that."
It's like done over the. Aww.
Keep practicing with it. You'll get the hang of it.
Yep. Okay. So, with dinner then prepared and everybody is gathered around, what is your plan for the evening?
To scry on Hibby and get an update, and then Kindred FedEx her something and see if she has anything to send back.
Okay. So...
And then to see if I found anything while out foraging.
Right. All of those things. All right. So first, well, hold on. We'll get there. First things first. Kindred. So you going to use the scry.
Like, what time is it now?
It's after dark.
Okay. Because I know we kind of spoke before privately, like we would use it around 10 o'clock ish. That way she knows to be ready for it.
So as you start the ritual casting of are you doing the ritual, or are you using the orb? Because you have the orb.
Okay. Yeah, the only way I can do it is with the orb. I don't have the spell in my book. So
putting your hand over the orb, your eyes kind of roll back in your head as you start the incantation for the scrying spell. And you feel your body feel your consciousness fall away from your body as you kind of like zoom outwards, and you can see a moonlit forest rushing past you. You can see the city, like just brief, like jumping flashes as you can see for a moment the city of Silverymoo. And then you feel what can only be described as a strange, like, stopping motion as a pain shoots from your forehead down to the back of your head. And the spell stops.
Immediately try it again. Like, there is a look of panic on my face because I did it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And you see me just dive back into it.
And you reach out again and you focus one more time. Your hand starts like shaking and the sweat starts forming at your temples, and you can feel yourself flying towards the city once again, and you reach to a certain point, and that same sharp sensation of it from the dead center of your forehead all the way down to the back of your head. It's just like as if you ran headfirst into a wall. And the spell fails again. Shut up. Galil.
Is he doing this? Is he doing this in front of everybody?
Yeah.
I just said I'm doing it in front of all of y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the second time when I come out, Galil.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Right now?
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
I scry on him to see if the spell works in general.
Okay. As you say yes, and you have that same sensation of pulling it out of your body, and you have this weird third-person camera view now of the room. Focus solely on Galil, and everybody else that's kind of around him has like that blurry, out of focus camera, like, you know, aspect to it, but you see Galil standing there with his arms crossed, just like staring at you angrily.
Oh, that's what my butt looks like from this angle.
I pull out.
Salvador did a good job with that coat.
Yeah.
Something's blocking me, or something's not right. I can't get through to her, but I can get through to you.
There may be an enchantment around the city.
Well, I
Makes
used to
sense.
be able to do it when she was in the city.
Maybe they've buffed their protections. Or maybe she's not alive anymore. Or unconscious.
I don't think she's dead, only because the spell seemed to want to work. That was like as if in that connection time we were cut off.
I see.
Maybe it's distance?
No, it works over as long as she's on the same plane as me.
Well,
Then maybe she's not on this plane.
How far could you get before it cut off?
I saw
Did you
bits
see?
and pieces of the city. Would I be able to like recognize in those flashes like?
You never passed over the city gates or city walls. It was, you saw like forest. You could see city in the distance. You were approaching the city, and that's when it would strike.
Perhaps there's a barrier around the city.
Perhaps so.
if you wanted to be sure, you could always ask my patron.
Before you delve headfirst into strange territory, let me just pay the boatman. As I start writing, pull out my journal and inks and everything, and I start writing a note. And it's, of course, it's to Hibby, pretty much saying, I can't get through to you. Is the city blocked? Where are you? We're 10 miles. No, don't say that. I'll just say we're nearby, here to rescue. you and the others. And I'll start doing one of these things. And does anyone have 25 gold on them at the moment? My coins are in my room.
I actually pulled out mine. This is to pay for the advice you gave me. I gave you 25.
And with that, I will cast the Courier. And put the note I wrote in the box along with, let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, I will place one of the pebbles, the quartz, in, and I'll just put like P.S. Keep this on you so I know it's you.
Okay.
And then off it goes.
All right. You see the little elemental that takes the case and shuts it, and then just kind of vibrates to the point to where it just vanishes, and you wait, and you wait, and then it reappears. You
open the chest.
The contents are gone. There's a small note that's hastily scribbled on their golden oak.
What does it say?
I just push it out on the table and just relax and sigh of relief.
Does it look like her handwriting?
Would I have known that?
Yeah, you should.
Investigate?
Sure.
19.
It was hastily written, but it seems to be Hibby's handwriting.
Second sigh of relief, like, oh, it was her.
Maybe you caught her at her bad time?
It's possible, but I think they boosted security since we've headed out.
If they have destroyed some things, they have probably rebuilt in the name of the Empire. Things that they need. Good thing is that we got to her. Do you know of Golden Oak?
We're coming.
Would I have known that?
Golden Oak?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the name of a rather popular inn and tavern. It's located on the northwestern side of the city.
It's a brothel.
No, but you do know that it is a nice place.
Western side of the city?
Northwestern.
Okay.
So I want to check on something.
Isn't that area occupied?
They're both occupied, but
the whole city
that's
is
not the heavily guarded side, fortunately. But Galil, since we have a exciting past with this person, I want to scry on Valindra.
Am I able to see this?
You're not able to, but I'll tell you what I do find.
If you see her, let me know.
Can we turn out all the lights in here?
Precipitation.
Doof, doof, doof. The lanterns go out.
Ooh, spooky.
Yes, that's a yes, I say.
And she's a very well experienced caster as well, guys. So while I'm doing this, just in case she's able to flip the switch and see on us, I'd rather y'all not say anything. Agreed?
I'll knock you out in the process.
And before I finally do it, I'll cast non-detection, refresh it to be sure on myself. And then I'll go after Valindra.
I like kind of ball up just in case.
Okay. So this is a person you've seen before. What is the spell?
Oh, that's a person I should know well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. Okay, there were aspects of that that I had like momentarily just like
I know I
glossed
saw your
over.
face, like.
By the way, if Kindred allows it, I'm gonna cast resistance on him just in case he needs to do a saving throw.
Okay.
I will definitely allow that. But let me see. Scrying. So if it is a person that I know well, they have a -5 on their roll.
Okay.
And
what's the spell DC?
17.
17.
And if I have a likeness or a picture, if I know what she looks like and stuff, it's also another -2.
Okay, so -7 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything of hers, or something that she's.
I mean, I have this body.
It's true.
Mm.
Yeah. Would that work?
Guess we will find out.
You can certainly try.
I am trying.
Touched this body.
So you put your hand out over the thing, cast the spell once again, and you feel that same out of body experience. What's that movie? Oh, whatever. The Dream Within a Dream movie style, you know, where you're just like Inception style, where you're just like suddenly cast out of your own body. Yeah. And you feel yourself flying through the air once again. It's almost, like I said before, it's almost like jump, 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 jump. You see forests, mountains, more forests, rivers, cities, villages, just flying through the air. And you eventually get to, you see the brief flash. There's like, almost like that photo, like, of like Neverwinter. This Neverwinter is unlike what you have seen before in the past. This was recovering.
I wanted a little next to me, and I'm just like, with my free hand holding onto his arm, and you just feel my grip, just death grip tighten.
Okay.
Guessing it's working.
You can see the city of Neverwinter, as parts of it still look familiar to you. The castle that had been like the main focus point of the city, you can see part of it has been toppled and destroyed. It is now, and another section seems to be that what has toppled is now being rebuilt. You can see in that same brief little quick flash, you saw the one of the distant islands that have been floating in the sky seems to be giving off a red, hazy light to it, almost like a burning fire. In fact, you notice now that a lot of the land around the city itself seems to have turned dry and barren. You can see the flash goes deeper into the city, and you are in the familiar hall that had once housed the Lord Neverember, where you guys had the brief run-in with the Thayan delegation.
Okay, yeah.
And there, it flashes into a room, and you can see Valindra sitting at this large, long table. She's
at this point, I'm probably like, my nails are almost digging into you.
You can see she has a goblet in hand, and she kind of is like lazily spinning around whatever sort of liquid is inside. and she seems to be her legs crossed, leaning back in a very relaxed position as she stares at some other people that are seated around her. And you can hear them speak. You can hear like muffled voices. It's like you're hearing it through like a pillow or something. It's kind of distant and there, but not really. What?
I can, because it says I can see and hear everything that the target hears clearly. So if she's hearing them, I hear it.
Right.
Okay.
But she's not really paying attention to what they're saying. So it was one of those like you can hear droning. And you get that sense. You get that sense it's like you're listening to a conversation that's not really being listened to. And just finally, she sets her cup down. Well, I'm sure this is all very interesting to most people. I do have business to attend to. I'll leave this to you, Matthias. You can deal with the day-to-day, as it were. And she steps up from the table. Lords and ladies, I appreciate you coming all this way from the south. And we will speak again in the morrow about your requests. She, walks past, and you see briefly in that moment, you see the man whom she had turned to that you assumed was Matthias as she kind of walks past him, and you get a well-armored individual who has a helmet placed on the table at his in front of him. And aspects of the armor are familiar, and like you've seen this kind of armor before. And she continues to walk. You see this other, she passes another seat, and the chair pushes back, and a younger woman stands and bows to the table and follows Valindra outside of this hall. As they leave the hall and close the door behind them, you hear the voice of the other woman.
Shall I make the proper arrangements for the lords and ladies? Or are you going to allow Matthias to feed them to his beast?
Valindra, not breaking stride, continues down the steps as she goes out towards the city. We'll let Matthias have his fun for now. I'm sure there'll be more lords and ladies for your experiments later. And it's about then when the spell starts to fade and you can lose sight of it once again. And you are back in the room in the darkness.
Matthias, what do we know about him?
Turn the lights back on.
Oh, too bad you're muted.
Son of Tiamat. He's a son of Tiamat.
You know this for sure?
Yeah.
He's going to feast on the nobility of Neverwinter tomorrow.
He's going to feed his dragon to the
You don't know that.
Well, it's going to feed his
I told you he's going to feast.
I mean, I don't know if he's a cannibal. He could be a cannibal. I don't.
I mean, you can ask me to clarify, but...
Was he a large man with black hair?
I would have described him.
Armor.
He had armor. Was it similar to Callistia?
Yep.
Did he have the same armor as Callistia?
Or...
Yeah. Are you asking me, or are you just saying it?
Yeah,
well,
what are the features?
Yeah.
That's all I saw. The armor was the same. And I just heard Valindra say how she was going to let him have his fun and feed them to his beast.
I'm looking at all three of you like, what now?
But I don't know why I figured she would be in Silverymoo. I just had a feeling, but we have to warn somebody or something somehow. Who do we know in the area?
She was in Neverwinter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Sister G?
Huh?
Sister G.
Who?
Sister Garayli.
Oh, forgot about that bitch.
Are you saying that we need to alert the people of this Silvermoon?
Well, she was in Neverwinter. I just had a feeling I needed to check on her. I thought she was going to be in Silverymoo, but well, we have feelings for a reason, and no, she's in Neverwinter. But yeah, we need to warn somebody somehow. Do you think Sister G would remember us?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of saved her life a couple times.
She got stabbed. Yeah, so.
Great reasons. Great reasons.
When you get stabbed, it helps your memory. All
Yeah.
that.
It does.
It's common knowledge.
Scars help you remember the story behind them.
I didn't really have much
Harper's on there,
interaction with her, but one of you write a note to her then.
Fine. Sandra, come on.
And this person is in Neverwinter?
They're in. Well, last we heard they were in Phandalin, which was a city a little south of Neverwinter, but it's not terribly far, and maybe she knows how to get in touch with the right people.
Does this change our plans with Silverymoo?
No, it's. They said this was going to happen in the morning. It's way beyond our reach and capabilities. But that's just strange how I had a feeling to check on her right then and there. And the young woman, did I recognize her at all?
Yeah. You did.
Who was it?
Deathbell?
Who was it?
A woman once known to you as Deathbell. Hey!
That's scary.
As Galil's heart rate goes through the roof.
She
Taking the
sounded.
airship going Neverwinter.
Her voice sounded more decrepit than it did back then.
You didn't hear her voice.
Well,
And I didn't even tell you about Deathbell.
yeah.
This sounds like a lot of drama.
It is. Well, that was fun. As you guys pull back for the moment and try and consider what to do with the information that you were given, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there as we find out what happens next week on Tuesday.
Dragon Ball Z.
Next Dragon Ball Z, Digimon, Pokemon, whatever you want to call it. On
Yu Yu Hakusho.
On Yu Yu Hakusho next time.
Digimon today, actually, the new one.
So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Love each other. And is it Tuesday yet?
You did not.
Why? Why?